Okay, I think we will wait for the designated time, and then we can start.
Okay, so I'll stay in the background. I don't need to take part, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Hello.
Okay, Arjun. Hi, Arjun. If you can hear me, I think we can start now.
Hello.
Arjun, are you there?
Yes, Godwin.
Okay, your audio is quite low. I can hardly hear you though.
Can you hear me now?
Still low.
Okay, wait. How about now, Godwin? You still on mute?
It's low. Arjun, we still can't hear you well.
Okay, I'll try to join in other devices.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Thank you for being here. Just in a few minutes, we will start. I crave your indulgence that we will stick around while Ajay gets her mic fixed. Thank you very much. Okay, I guess I would have to start. Thank you all for being here today. It's such a wonderful, wonderful opportunity to interact with each and every one of us. I would like to say that, of course, this provides us a very, very, interactive opportunity to talk about being a volunteer at SkilledUp Life. Feel free to, um, join in the conversation and ask questions. We want to get feedbacks as much as possible. This has to be, of course, interactive to make that happen. So yes, we will be going through, this webinar that should help us understand how to get your spot on a startup team, of course, in a volunteer engagement through SkilledUp Life. So it's a pleasure to have you, Snowy. I see Amma, I see Zena, I see Daniel, Delphine, I see Bandele, I see Madeline, I see Muhammad, I see Eta. Thank you all for being here today. We're going to go just right in. Oh, so sorry, guys. Can you hear me?
Yes, can get you.
Yes, Bandele says he or she can't hear me. So I was
Her
wondering.
mic is a problem.
Okay, all right, great. Thank you. Bandele, I suppose you would have to check your mic. All right, thank you, Manoj. Thank you, Manoj. Yes, so yeah, we're here today. We will be talking about how to secure a spot on a tech startups team. Now, of course, the reality is that SkilledUp Life is a two-sided talent marketplace. Now, I think we will have this in stages where I will explain from what SkilledUp Life is, and then we will go, in stages up till the point where I will share my screen and show you, how to go about setting up your profile, signing up in the first place, and so on. But first of all, I should start by laying a background to what SkilledUp Life is and what you should expect and what you shouldn't necessarily expect. SkilledUp Life is a two-sided talent marketplace. I'm sorry, by the way, I think I should start this properly. My name is Godwin Mayaki. I'm the head of the Africa team at SkilledUp Life. I also lead the marketing team and the user acquisition team. We have in the audience the CEO of SkilledUp Life. He's simply, listening in. And also, I've got a colleague here, two colleagues here. Ama is a member of the SkilledUp Life marketing team. She is our LinkedIn administrator, and we've got Ajeng. Ajeng is a member of the marketing team as well. She leads the events team. Of course, this is an event, so she is in charge here today. And of course, we've got a very, very wonderful colleague. She just left the team, Maini. Maini will be listening in as well. So yes, that's the, members of the team that are here right now. And of course, we will be available to interact with you, have chats with you, and even follow on, conversations after now. Yes, I was going right into explaining what SkilledUp Life is. SkilledUp Life in itself is a two-sided talent marketplace. The thinking is, how can we bring both sides together in a win-win case scenario? So on the talent side, you will agree with me, of course, that experience is very important. Now, in the past, a couple of years ago, I would come on LinkedIn. I would try to, apply to opportunities. I was going about it randomly, and I was doing so much. Talking about sometimes 2016, and I was going about the whole thing at random. But one thing you can be sure of is that you're doing all of that, that sporadic spraying of applications and so on does not guarantee you anything. There are key criteria employers and recruiters are looking for. Now, if you do not have those criteria or those qualifications, they probably wouldn't have you on board. And this is what usually leads to the very common rejection mails. So in many cases, you see people applying to opportunities, not getting responses. And when they do, usually the rejection mail. So it's a very common challenge that we'll need to really, really, get solved. And this is what SkilledUp Life is about, trying to solve that very key challenge. Now, if experience is that important in the, in your career growth journey, if experience is that important, then we should be solving experience. Now, if you go out there and you're looking for a job, I think there are 1,001 platforms where you could go, create a profile and apply to a job. But if you want to get experience, if it's experience that is a challenge and you want to get some, where do you really go? Prior to SkilledUp Life, and even as we speak, there is none except SkilledUp Life. So SkilledUp Life is that platform that exists to help you get experience, bottom line. That's what we're here for. So if you feel experience is something you want to get more of, you come through to SkilledUp Life. And what do we do when you come aboard? What do we do when you eventually come aboard? We will then... Okay, I was getting a lot of feedback. We will then match you to a tech startup, but we don't do it at our own will. You apply to it. So there is a part that we play. There is a role we play. We provide a platform, but there is also, the role you play as individuals to ensure that you get on the team you really want to get. So that's how it works. It's a two-sided, responsibility kind of a thing. We have our responsibilities, get the opportunities on the board and make them available to you. You also have a responsibility, creating a profile that means business and applying to those opportunities in the most skillful manner. So that's, the two-sided responsibility. But beyond that, SkilledUp Life, like I said earlier on, It's a two-sided marketplace. Now, as you do know, the talent side exists, which includes every one of us here. But we also have the startup side. Now, these are companies in their super early stages. They do not have as much resource to build paid teams, and so they wouldn't mind coming through SkilledUp Life and building teams composed of volunteers. So this is what we've done. Now, if that team is willing to build, if that startup is willing to build their team composed of volunteers, what that means is it provides volunteers an opportunity to go on that team, explore, learn, and become better in their career. The company also gets some value because while you're there, you will be taking on tasks and providing value. So at the end of the day, it's a win-win. You as a volunteer, you get experience. The company itself gets someone to help it grow. Win-win, typical. So this is what SkilledUp Life is. And then I think I should also talk about what SkilledUp Life is not. SkilledUp Life is not a job platform. We do not provide paid jobs. It is very important that we mention that. And you shouldn't go on a volunteer engagement assuming or expecting that you will eventually be employed. That isn't how SkilledUp Life works. Through SkilledUp Life, all of the engagements you carry on are simply with the notion that, yes, you want to gain experience. The experience you get, you will then take it out there and, of course, communicate as skillfully as possible to project yourself, present yourself, and so on and so forth. And that is why, while you're here, there are four important, expectations that you should have, and we have of you as well. Now, the very first is the fact that we expect that you will be able to build a portfolio. Now, all of this is preparatory to being able to market yourself out there. You should be able to build a portfolio that speaks for you, that states clearly or presents clearly what you're capable of doing. Now, how are you able to build this portfolio? You will do this by, putting together evidences of tasks you have been able to accomplish. But of course, this is only to the extent of the privacy and data, requirements within that role you handle. So for instance, if you're a graphics designer, that's a very good one. It's open, material anyway, even though it carries the branding of the company. But of course, you could always go say, yes, I created that. But if it's a source code to a software, that isn't open material, you could go share. So of course, predicated on the tasks you've completed, you can then build a portfolio that you could go, share out there and show or prove your what and what you can achieve. Now, aside building a portfolio, we would expect that while you're at your engagement, you should be able to build a network. Now, I'm sure that while we are here right now, we are from no less than 5 to 6 or even more countries right now. What this simply means is that SkilledUp Life brings you in close proximity to colleagues from elsewhere. So you now are in close proximity with people from so many places. It helps you build your connection base, your network base, and become better. We expect that while you're here, you should be in touch with the others. Make, friends, build relationships. All of these will tie in to your long-term, growth journey. Of course, they could always become a part of something big for you as you go on your journey. So we expect you to build a portfolio. We expect you to, of course, build your connection and your network base. We also expect you to become better skills-wise. Now, the underlying reason you joined SkilledUp Life is because you need experience, or you have some and maybe want to help a tech startup. Either way, when you leave, your skills should be better. The reality is that it's only with an improved skill that you can go out there and say, yes, I'm able to do this, right? So while you're taking on all of those tasks and doing all you need to do, you will need to ensure that you're getting better skills-wise. And of course, the icing on the cake is that at the end of your volunteer term, you should receive a recommendation letter. But that is also predicated on the fact that you kept to your volunteer agreement. Now, it is standard practice that when you are getting aboard a team, you're provided with a volunteer agreement. This volunteer agreement states clearly what is expected of you and what is expected of that tech startup where you're coming aboard. Now, it is meant also to protect you. It's also meant to protect the tech startup, more or less clarify what obtains. Now, predicated on the fact that you kept to your side of the volunteer agreement, you will then be provided a recommendation letter. Now, this recommendation letter states clearly what you were able to achieve, your competencies, and so on, and is, as a matter of fact, a testament to who you are and what you can do about any tech startup team. Now, armed with these 4 very important ingredients, you can then go out there, promote yourself as skillfully as possible, present yourself in the best possible light, and then you can then say, maybe you're able to get that job you've always wanted. So this is what SkilledUp Life is out to do. This is why we exist, to make this two-sided community a very, very beneficial one. And I trust that you taking our time to be here today means, yes, you understand the value SkilledUp Life can provide to you. And indeed, I'm sure at the end of this webinar today, you will certainly have some value to go out with. Of course, I suppose that will be the case. Now, if at any point in time you have a question or would like to clarify on anything, please feel free to drop it on the chat. And then, of course, we will certainly attend to them. So feel free to drop your messages on the chat. And of course, when it's we're doing the presentation, you can also indicate and mute and then provide some audible feedback to what we're doing. So this is what SkilledUp Life is about. Now, before we go right on, I think it's best that I ask for feedback. Maybe I said anything during the course of my intro that I just ended now, and you would like to clarify before we go on. I think this is a good one, a good time to do so. Is there anyone with a question or clarification? Do we have any questions? Happy to respond to any. If you have a question, please unmute and let's talk about it. Hi, Uju.
Please, I have a question to ask you.
Yes, please, Mohammed. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Aside from getting recommendation from the startup company we work for, are we going to get a recommendation from SkilledUp Live as well?
Okay. Yes. So the reality is this. I didn't mean yes, you will get. That's not what I meant. The reality is that you volunteered with that tech startup, so they know you. If you volunteered with us, we would have known you. So it's only for those who you volunteered with to provide that recommendation. We can't provide a recommendation when you didn't undertake, projects with us, you didn't undertake tasks. So that is not feasible, Mohammed.
Godwin, you need to mute whoever's making the noise. I can't do it.
Yes. So is that clear, Mohammed?
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Uju, you were trying to speak. Please, can you go ahead now? Ujunwa or Kafo? Hello, Ujunwa. Okay. Yes, I see you unmuted, Osei Dion. Do you have a question or want to clarify on something? Please go ahead if you have one, Osei Dion. Okay, yes, we're still open. If you do have any questions or clarification, I've said a little bit already about who we are and why SkilledUp Life exists. I've also talked about what we are not. So yes, if you have any question, I'll be happy to entertain and provide clarity.
Hello, Mr. Godwin.
Yes, hi Chidera.
Thank you for this opportunity. I joined late. I missed part of the introduction, but I have an account with SkilledUp Life. So what I would want to know is am I supposed to have a separate volunteer account? Like register as a volunteer before I can be able to volunteer to work. I don't know if you understand me.
Yes, I think I do. I suppose what you said at the first, you said you have a profile. Is that right?
Yes, I do. I do.
Yes, that's the profile you need. You simply need a volunteer profile. If you do already have that, that qualifies you.
Okay. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. But of course, during this call, we will be trying to find out best practices, what you need to do to be able to ace getting those opportunities.
All right, thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Chidera. Yes, I'm still open if you have a question. Osei Dion, you had unmuted earlier on. I suppose you have a question.
Hi, Mr. Godwin.
Yes, hi, Victor.
Hi. Just like Chidera, I joined pretty late, so I missed a lot of what you said earlier on. And that's probably because the link that you sent on LinkedIn, or was it to my email, was wrong. I tried logging in and earlier on, so because it said 12 GMT, which means an hour before the Nigerian time, So I logged in at 12 noon Nigerian time, it didn't go through. I logged in at 1 p.m. also, it didn't go through until I sent a message directly to your organization on LinkedIn before I got the right link. That said, so I wonder if I've missed a lot or maybe I haven't missed much, I don't know. I'd like to know what the volunteer program is all about and what I need to do to be a volunteer on any of the startups.
Okay, all right, thank you very much, Victor. Really appreciate you coming up to speak. I'm so sorry about that. I probably didn't even know about that discrepancy. I'll check again. But to the best of my ability, when that newsletter was sent out, the link was fine. And of course, GMT is 1 hour behind Nigeria. So 12 p.m. GMT will be 1 p.m. Nigeria time. Now, having said that, I said quite a bit, but I will go back and, of course, just provide a brief. So SkilledUp Life is a two-sided talent marketplace. And what we do is we exist to help talents get experience, gain experience in essence. So you do know that a lot of people are looking for opportunities, especially in tech as we operate. The reality is that not everyone gets those opportunities. And one of the very unmistakable reasons will be the lack of experience or insufficient experience. Now, what we exist to do is provide talents with that experience. There are so many places out there where you could go get a job, but where do you go to go get experience? That is where SkilledUp Life belongs. We exist because we want to help you get experience. Now, having said that, how we do this is by matching talents to early stage tech startups. These are tech startups in their early stages, do not have as much resource to build paid teams. so wouldn't mind building their teams composed of volunteers. Now, the reality here is that while you're undertaking those tasks on the startups team, you will be providing value to them that will eventually help them grow, but you will also become better carrying out those tasks hands-on, readily becoming a win-win scenario for both sides. So the reality is that we expect that at the end of a volunteer term, the tech startup should have gotten value because you were there. You should also have become better hands-on, carrying out hands-on tasks. Expect that at the end of the day, it's a win-win. Simply a volunteer engagement, not a job, and certainly isn't a replacement for your full-time job. We're simply saying, devote 1 to 3 hours of your time daily, Mondays through Fridays. In that time, you should be able to build a portfolio by undertaking tasks. You should have been able to build a network. Of course, you will not be alone on the team. You will be alongside others from elsewhere. It provides you a very wonderful opportunity to build a network. And then, of course, we expect that your skills should become better. While carrying out all of those tasks and doing all of that, going through the motions of the startup ecosystem, of course, you should be getting better skills-wise. And to cap it all up, at the end of your volunteer term, predicated on the fact that you kept to the volunteer agreement, that volunteer agreement is a document you sign at the start of your engagement. Now, predicated on the fact that you stuck to that agreement and you fulfilled it, you will be provided a volunteer recommendation letter. That letter primarily speaks to your competence, speaks to the value you provided on the team, speaks to your personality, and is more or less a recommendation of your person and your skills. So, of course, we know that when you go out there, it's very important that people would like to see, a portfolio you built. You will also have to, or would want to benchmark on the connections or the network you build. You would also want to explore by showcasing your skills. And of course, as you go on in your professional journey, employers would want to see a proof of what you've done, or some recommendation letter to show that you really, really, can be trusted. Your skills can be trusted. So all of these that we've itemized should help you sort or solve that challenge, and of course, help present you in the best possible light. So this is what SkilledUp Life aims to achieve, and that is what it is. But like I said earlier on, probably you were not there at the time, the engagement through SkilledUp Life isn't a job. It shouldn't be seen as a job. As a matter of fact, it's not a replacement for a full-time job. We understand that you could have a full-time engagement, your job, your day job. See SkilledUp Life as something you do by the side that helps you get experience. So it is certainly not a replacement for a full-time job. And like I often say, all of our engagements and our operations are remote. Of course, we're a remote-first entity. So we do not expect that you commute to any physical space for any volunteer engagement. You all operate remotely, and that means you should have an internet-enabled device and should have internet connectivity to support your operations. We do not provide any of those. We're simply saying, if you recognize that this is something you really, really want to do, you understand that experience is a challenge, and you would want to get some, you wouldn't mind providing your internet connectivity and of course, also having an internet-enabled device. If you feel all of these are things you could do, then SkilledUp Life exists to make that connection happen for you. So this is what we are. And that's what I did, explain about earlier on, Victor. I suppose I've been able to provide some context, right?
Yeah, most definitely. So I guess my next question is, how do we go about registering for the volunteer role? Because I see a lot of links on the chat and I don't understand what those links are. So I'm a bit confused.
Okay, all right, thank you very much. We will be talking about how you could start in a short while. I'm just trying to get feedback from the brief intro. We will certainly go into that. What you're seeing in the chat section is our CEO engaging with some of the attendees here, and of course, eliciting some responses from them. We will certainly go into, I'll share my screen and run us through, some conversations and, of course, get clarity at the end. But at this point, I would like to get, some feedback. Is there anyone who would like to, clarify on anything I've said so far? Okay, I think at this point, we'll dive right into explaining what you need to do to get a spot on a team. Now, the reality is that what we're doing here is volunteering. I'm sure that before now, what you knew about volunteering was, giving time for advocacy and so on. That idea of volunteering within the tech system was never really there. We would like to see ourselves as innovators, making this really, really come to the fore. And this is what we are. So yes, we're simply saying, even within the tech space, an ecosystem of volunteering can be sustained. It can be profitable. It can be beneficial. And this is what we've been proving, for the past 4 years. SkilledUp Life in itself has been here for 4 years, and there's so many success stories to show. Now, having said that, you're coming aboard looking to get a spot on a team. Now, of course, you do know it's a volunteer engagement, but because of the demand, the reality is that it has also become competitive. You will need to present yourself in the best possible light to be considered. Now, we've got a couple of startups on our platform that are building teams through us, and they've got a couple of roles on our opportunities board too. But the reality is you will need to present yourself very, very clearly. Now, the very first step to take right now will be to visit our website. It's at www.skilledup.life. www.skilledup.life. Now, if you haven't gotten that clearly, please check on the chat section. I just dropped a link there. It's www.skilledup.life. Now, if you do click on that link, it will take you to our website. Now, when you get to our website, there are two very clear call to actions on the homepage. There is the build teams and there is the volunteer. Now, I think this is that point where I should share my screen and help bring you guys up to speed. Okay, just a minute. Okay, if you can see my screen, please just let me know. Can you? I suppose my screen is visible, is it?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Thank you very much. Yes, so this is the SkilledUp Life website, and very clearly here you can see two buttons. There is the build team for companies looking to build team through us. Now, they will click on that. It will take them to the company's page, provides them some insight, and then that's it. The volunteer side, which is what we're focusing on through this webinar today, speaks to helping you build your profile. Now, what we'll expect you to do is click on the volunteer button. Now, when you do so, it will take you to the volunteers page. Now, on the volunteers page, it provides you with some insight about what you will be doing at SkilledUp Life, what volunteering through SkilledUp Life means, the value inherent, and so on. Now, once you've read through that and you've got some insight, please click on the sign up button, which is the next step. Clicking on the sign up button takes you to the sign up page where you create a volunteer account. Now, we are on that page right now. I think I need to sign out, sorry. Okay, so while you're here, be sure that you're account, because on this page, two kinds of accounts can be created. There is the volunteer account, which is the highlighted one, and then there is the company account. But of course, you're on the volunteer account. Now, to create an account, you would need to provide a unique username. You will need to provide an email. You will need to create a password. You will need to confirm that password, provide your phone number, and of course, select a category, where you fit right in. Now, here you will find a couple of areas. You see accounting and finance, administration, business development, and so on and so forth. Simply select a category that is closest to you. Now, the reality is that this is a broad categorization. It doesn't mean that you are confined to that particular option you picked here. Now, it simply helps us understand the various categories people are coming aboard SkilledUp Life through. Now, of course, it's a broad categorization. Like I said, there could be finer details. So simply select one that is closest to your, area. Now, I'm going to do something, and this is me creating a dummy account and then run you through the process of, setting up your profile. Now, I'm going to select this. Okay. Okay. Yes. Category. Say this is me. I happen to be someone. This is fictitious still, please. I happen to be someone who has interest in data science, or I'm a data analyst. I will then look out for a category that best describe me, data analytics and insights. Now, of course, I'll select this, and of course, everything checks out, and register. Okay, so that is me creating my account. It is different from my profile. I will have to set up my profile. So yes, I now have an account at SkilledUp Life, and of course, it's a volunteer account with my username, dummy SUL profile. Now, having said that, I would like to ask, up till this point, do we have any need for clarification? Do we have any questions, or, anything anyone would like to ask? If you do, please just unmute and go ahead to speak. I readily can't see you while sharing the screen. Okay, I suppose we're all cool. Now, what you're seeing here is the desktop view for your profile. Now, you will have to update your profile with your details. Now, I also like to mention that this is where it becomes interesting. Companies who are building teams through SkilledUp Life really want someone who doesn't just understand that skill area, but someone who has the passion, the drive, and the willingness to be a part of what they are doing, wants to be a part of their journey, and of course, contribute their quota while getting some experience in return. Now, it means that you will need to ensure you're telling a story that resonates with the recruiting team or the founder. Tell a story that is relatable. It needs to be relatable. Now, having said that, there are certain sections you will need to fill on your profile. The first being your profile picture. You will need to ensure your profile picture is added. please always put a face to your profile. It's very essential. People want to understand that they are relating with a real person that can be seen and, of course, can be appraised. You would need to also add your About Me section. Now, your About Me section is that section where you tell your story. I talked about communicating as clearly as possible. That is where you tell your story. And then you have an experience section. That experience section is simply saying, I have worked here, this is what I did, and so on and so forth. Then we have an education section that, of course, clearly states, your educational background and so on. We have a section where you will have to list out your skills. Now, say, for instance, a recruiting team comes aboard the platform and is looking for someone with a particular skill. They would usually type it in the search bar and results will pop up. Those results will pop up because of the skills match that occurred. So this is why you should have skills that resonate with what your career, focus is. If you're here to explore data analytics or data science, list out skills that speak to that. And it's also very important that I mention that in tailoring your profile, tailor it to your area of focus. Do not try to maintain a generic profile. It wouldn't do you much good. Now, what happens here is that founders or recruiting teams are looking for people who are a good fit to their role, while also having some other, adjoining traits like your passion and so on and so forth. They would usually want to see this on your profile. But ensure that you tailor your profile to that area you're interested in. Tailor your profile to that area. So if you're looking to volunteer in data science, ensure that your storytelling, your experience, and if you've got portfolio items from the past, you can add them there. All of that speak to showing that you are someone who is interested in this particular area or a professional in that area. Now, when you have a generic profile, it doesn't do you much good. When they come, they can't really place you and tell if this is who you are or this is who you are not. So it's good to have a very, very tailored profile. Now, it's also very important that I mention that once your profile is completed, ensure to only apply to one or two opportunities. Now, if you've done a meticulous job in ensuring your profile is well tailored, you don't need to apply to so many opportunities. You simply need to apply to one or two, and that does it. Of course, you will be a good fit when they go check out your profile. So this is what we want to do now, ensuring that we're a good fit for that opportunity. In this case, like I said, I am that individual with interest in data science or data analytics and anything within that construct. So we will go right in to explore that. Now, having said this, this is what you see if you log into your volunteer account on a PC. However, on a mobile screen, I think I should show you what you will see. This is what you will see. Now, on your PC screen, to the left of your screen, you will find all of the options listed out. You'll simply click and all of that. We get this feedback a lot where people say we couldn't navigate it on mobile. On your mobile screen, what you need to do to ensure you fill up your profile with details is click on the show sidebar. If you click on the show sidebar, all of the options show up, and then you can continue to update your profile. But of course, I will proceed on the desktop view, but this is how you go about it on mobile. It's almost same, just a difference in layout. Yes, up till this point, do we have any questions that I need to respond to? If you do have any, please unmute and speak as I can't see everyone while sharing my screen. Okay, I suppose not. I'll go right on to build this profile. So we have the update profile section. I've just clicked on that. And then we'll have to provide the details of my profile. So yes, do I want my profile visible for people to see? This is where you can decide that. So of course, I'm leaving it open because I want recruiters to see it. I want colleagues and other volunteers to see it as well. So the profile is left at show. Now, like I said, best practice is that you should have a profile picture. I will be picking one here and having that added as my profile picture. And so that is it. Of course, this is my volunteer URL. You can see it there, very clear for everyone to see. Now, having said that, there is a cover photo, which you shouldn't bother about. That really doesn't fit in very well. So you could let that be. Ensure to have your full name. In this case, full name will be done with profile. So that's it. The email address stated and the phone number also stated. Now recall this individual is looking to explore a career in data science. This is where I will then look around and see what roles there are. I could select to provide me with that proper picture. Do we have a question? Okay, I can't see everyone now, but of course, if you've got a question, please feel free to ask. Okay, all right. I suppose not. So yes, we will go right on to our profile. Yes, my data analytics journey, I should have interest in project management, say product marketing, say strategy, say team building, data analytics, product positioning. Let's say that's me now. I've defined my skills. Now, what's my experience level? Is it fresh? Or how many years have I got? Let's say 3 years. Of course, that's now selected. What's my qualification? What kind of degree do I have? In this case, got a bachelor's, say. If I've got a master's too, I would have that selected. And also, if I've got a doctorate, that will do also. Now, having said that, you could also select your category if you didn't. You selected one that you were not too clear about earlier on. But like, I did, I selected data analytics and insight. Yes, so we have this feature here where you could have your video. You could create an introduction video of yourself and have it, the URL added here, but it's not compulsory. If you cannot, that's okay. And this is where you have your About Me section. Now, for the purpose of this call, this webinar, I already crafted a profile and About Me for this individual. So please, I will simply copy that and have it appended here. Yes. Okay. Okay. Just a minute, please. Okay, so now having done that, I hope my screen is visible just to get some feedback. Is my screen visible, guys?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I have here is more or less a very brief story about myself. Hi, or hello, I'm Godwin Mayaki, a passionate and driven data analyst, excited to contribute my skills to early stage technology startups through SkilledUp Life. With a solid foundation in data analysis and a keen eye for detail, I bring 7 years experience in extracting actionable insight from complex data sets. My journey in data analysis began during my undergraduate studies, where I honed my analytics skills through coursework and internships. Since then, I've had the opportunity to work on various projects ranging from market research to predictive modeling. These experiences have equipped me with a diverse toolkit, including proficiency in SQL, Python, and data visualization tools like Tableau. I am eager to volunteer because I believe in the power of collaboration and innovation. By joining a startup team, I hope to apply my expertise in a dynamic environment where my contributions can make a tangible impact, whether it's optimizing processes, identifying growth opportunities, or informing strategic decisions. I am committed to adding value wherever I can. In return, I aim to gain valuable insight into the startup ecosystem and expand my professional network. Volunteering offers a unique opportunity for personal growth and learning, and I'm excited to immerse myself in new challenges and experiences. Ultimately, I aspire to leverage these volunteer engagement as a stepping stone towards achieving my long-term career goals in data analytics. I am ready to roll up my sleeves and contribute to your team's success. Let's collaborate and make a difference together. Now, in these few paragraphs, I have communicated why I want to do this, the experience I have. I've also even talked about these tools I have been able to learn and I have mastered, and so on and so forth. Now, this clearly states or tells a story. It tells a story about my journey, it tells a story of what I want to do, it tells a story of what I have learned so far, it tells a story of why I want to be on their team, and it tells a story about where I want to go to with the skill I have gotten. So you can see that I have clearly stated to this tech company my background in data analytics, what I want to do, and so on and so forth. Now, the reality is, for some of us, we may not have prior experience. But recall, when we started out, I talked about SkilledUp Life being a platform where you can come get experience even if you do not have one, if you do not have some. Now, the reality is that a lot of people are looking to get into the tech space who do not even have any background in tech. They're simply aspiring to use these as inroads to that particular role. Now, this is a bit technical. It would depend on the role. Now, for instance, if a company is looking for a full stack web developer, if you do not have any experience whatsoever, I think that can certainly work because you'll need to have idea of the basics in the first place and be able to deploy and all of that. If you do not have that, it certainly can't work. But say you want to do maybe digital marketing. You probably may not have the idea, but this is something you can learn on the road, right? In instances of that kind, companies wouldn't mind bringing you aboard. They wouldn't mind because they understand that you've got the energy, you've got the passion, you've got the drive, and you've shown that through your About Me section. They will say, yes, you do not have the skill yet, but with that passion and with that drive, we believe this guy can do anything on our team and can achieve so much. Yes, that has happened because you told your story in a way that is relatable. And this is where your About Me section comes in. So this is what it's about. And this is, of course, a sample. I would have to go on to select the country. Let's say Nigeria. Of course, very essential that you select your country. We need to understand where our talents are coming from. But that does not exclude you from anything. You wouldn't be discriminated against on the basis of that. Yes, you could, if you know the details of your longitude, latitude, just to give us context, you can do that. Please do if you can. Now, you also need to provide details of your social networks, say Facebook, say Twitter, say Instagram. Now, what you need to do here, of course, like you see here, the first selected, or whichever one you want to select, is Facebook. You will then go back and provide us with the URL to that page. Now, the best practice is to copy the URL to that page, inclusive of the hypertext details, the HTTPS. That makes it clickable. So please ensure that you copy that detail, the full URL, to your profile on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, or on LinkedIn, as the case may be. Now, once you have that added, of course, you've completed that section. Now we will then go, let me have this just for this at this point. There are keywords to industries. Okay, there are keywords to industries, and it's very important that you have some listed. I will say analytics. I will say SQL. I will say Python. I want to operate within a particular space. What's that space? Data science, data analytics, and anything around that. It will be great to have these keywords added as tags to my profile, such that when founders and recruiting teams come on the website and are searching, some will not necessarily wait for people to apply to the opportunities. They will simply come on the platform and search talents out. This is a good way to make yourself very, very visible and readily, findable. So have these keywords that relate to you added to your profile. Now, say I am done with all of these, I'm going to save. So sorry, the network is a bit not too quick. Yes, now it's saved. And then there are other sections to, yes, that is saved now. The details I just added have been saved. There is another section called the resume, where you update your skills and experiences. Now, this is where you add your education. Of course, you should have some background. And even if you're a student and in school, it's also noteworthy that you have this added. You're still in school, but of course, the journey is still on. Now, your education, this is where you add the class or the nature of the degree, if it's a higher national diploma, if it's a bachelor's degree, and so on and so forth, and particularly with reference to the course or the area of study. So if it's a higher national diploma in, let's say, statistics, you have that added there. The school, let's say, Kaduna Polytechnic, the year, and so on. And of course, could have that if you're done already, 2022, let's say, and then provide us insights into what you did there. It would be great to have all of that added. The course was about A, B, C, and D, and so on and so forth. I've got some dummy text. I will also provide that here. Okay. Okay, I've had some details added here. I talked about relevant coursework that I was engaged in, advanced data analytics, statistical modeling, data visualization, and so on. While I was at it, I also completed some internships, and these are the details of the internships and so on. This is you, in essence, painting a very clear picture of who you are, what you have done, where you have been, and the value you've attained. It's very essential to have all of these added. Additional certification, if you've done anything with regards to while undertaking that degree course, and so on and so forth in any area, have it added there. Very important. Now, if there are several educational, details you want to add, I just added one now. If you need to add more, of course, add another education is where to go. The next section will be your experience. Now, this is where you state, of course, details of your professional experience. Now, the very first will be the title, which will usually be the role you functioned in. I was a data analyst. I was a statistician. I was a research assistant, and so on and so forth. This is where you have that added in. Let me just have that. Data analyst. Start date. It was sometimes in October 2022, let's say, 2021, the 4th of October 2021, and then it ended. But if it hasn't ended, of course, you leave that field blank. Let's say it ended yesterday. The name of the company, Ad Tech Integrated. And then you provide a description, just like I did for the education. And I also have some dummy details here. I would also explore all of that. Yes, so while we're at it, if you have a question or anything, please feel free to call my attention, or you could simply unmute since I can't see the screen right now, and go ahead to ask your question. So while I wait for that, if you also have an award, please add the details here. What was the title, when was it given, and what was the citation or the description of that award? If you've got other skills as well, please put the details here. And also add a percentage. Of course, you can evaluate yourself. See it this way, on the scale of 1 to 100, where do you belong? If I say I understand how to use Tableau, on a scale of 1 to 100, I have a skill in the utilization of Tableau Public. That's software. Yes, what's my proficiency level? I could say 60%, and so on. So you could add several skills to your profile depending on your areas of interest. Of course, I'm going to save my resume now. Okay, now with that said, you will easily notice that having done all of this, the skills percentage on my profile reads 85. Now, at SkilledUp Life, we have a lower bar. That lower bar says, before you are able to apply to opportunities, you will need to get to 70% at the minimum. Now, what I have simply done by filling all of these details, is reaching 85%. Now, if you check below your profile, it's giving you recommendation as to what you need to do to get to 100%. Okay? And like I said, the introductory video is not too necessary, but if you can do it, of course, it makes it even better. The awards section, if you've got awards, it's not compulsory, but if you've got, please add them there. The cover photo, I also told you, not too important at this time. It might also be removed very soon. So this is you building a profile. Now that that is done, you can then check yourself out, of course, on the SkilledUp Life volunteers, page. Let me make this full page. So check it out together. Now, if you click on the volunteers link there, it opens up the profile of volunteers at SkilledUp Life. So let's say I go there and I want to, within the public view, of course, I could have done this through my own profile, but let's say I come here and I check dummy profile was what I stated. So let me check that out. Okay, so you see dummy profile there with my area of interest and details spelled out. Now, this is what, of course, visitors to my website will see. You can see the skills I added and the percentage, and this is why you also need to add more skills with regards to your area of interest or specialization. You can see my work experience, you can see my education, you can see the About Me section I added, you can see the fact that I added a social link for Facebook, even though it wasn't done properly, but of course, that shows that I have one URL to. Now, let's say the SkilledUp Life profile is the basis for judgment, but you would have done yourself better if you added your profile. Say you have some more details on your social media profiles and you feel it would add color to what you're doing or who you are, you could have it added. Let's say the recruiting team decides to go check your LinkedIn profile and sees, oh, yes, that really, really complements what you said here. It then makes you, that very, very, talent that really, really fits the bill. Now you can see very clearly the skills I selected. You can see my years of experience as I had selected. You can see my qualification. I have a bachelor's degree and a master's degree. And you can also, of course, see your details. This is how companies are going to reach out to you. So this is what you need to do to have a profile that really, really means business. It's about the storytelling. It's about not leaving details that could be useful out. It's about being tailored to a particular area, not being generic, trying to speak to everything that you can do. Here at SkilledUp Life, try as best as possible to tailor your profile to that opportunity that is in line or that area that is in line with where you want to be. And of course, with that, you can clearly, you have your portfolio items, your awards, all speaking to your competence and your proficiency and so on. It is easy for startups to see you as a good fit. Now, once you're done with your profile, you can then visit the opportunities board. And by the way, we've got a couple of opportunities compiled, and I will be sharing that on the chat section, but this is where you should go to, okay? This is where you should go to see opportunities. Now, when you visit our opportunities board, and by the way, how do you get that done? From the homepage, whether on mobile, on PC, you'll simply click on the opportunities menu. This is it here. When you do click on it, it will take you to the opportunities board where all of the opportunities listed on our platform are available. Now, how do these opportunities get here? As an entity, SkilledUp Life, the parent company, we've got needs on our teams. We list them here. The companies subscribed to us have also got internal needs, staffing needs. They would also come and list them here. As they post the opportunities, it shows up on this board. Now, it's also very important to mention this so you get clarity with this. In most cases, you will open up an opportunity and you will see that there are maybe 50 applicants on the opportunity. Now, do not hesitate to apply if it fits the bill for you. Now, what do I mean? They would have, they've had 50 applicants, but the simple reason why that opportunity is still open is because they probably haven't found the perfect candidate. You could simply be that candidate. Or they are looking for multiple hands and they still haven't gotten the full complement of hands they want on the team. So if you do visit any opportunities board, however many you see the previous applicants are, still do apply, okay? So it's that very clear. Please do apply. Do not hesitate to apply. You still stand the chance of getting, you probably are just that person they are waiting for. So please do apply. And these opportunities are available. But like I advised earlier on, stick to applying to 1 or 2 opportunities that tie to your area of interest. Do not, because you see that you have competencies in all of these areas, you go applying, you probably will not get any feedback. Now, the reality is that now that your profile is tailored to a particular area, when you apply to an opportunity in that area, the recruiting team can then see a clear fit and then have you invited for a chat. So this is how it works. I would also like to mention that it is best practice not to volunteer for 2 opportunities at the same time. If you have an opportunity that you're already volunteering for, wait till that opportunity is concluded before initiating a new one. It is not best practice, and we frown against having to volunteer at 2 separate companies at the same time. You certainly will not, provide the best in doing so. Of course, your attention will be divided. We do not want that, and beyond that factor, we just don't want that happening. So please take note of that and ensure not to apply, to as many opportunities. Now, once you apply, what happens? This is a question we get very often. When you apply to an opportunity, the next step is that that company receives your application and they will go do due diligence. Due diligence meaning they are coming to check your profile and see who you are and see how good of a fit you are. If you're not a fit, usually they will do a rejection mail to you as quick as possible. And if you're a fit, you will be invited for an interview, more or less a friendly chat. That chat is you and that recruiting team interacting to, see a fit between both sides. If it scales through, you will be onboarded and your 3 months long volunteer engagement starts. So this is the journey from account creation to onboarding. It's been a wonderful one, explaining, but of course, I'm sure there will be a question or 2 with regards to this. So please feel free to ask. I'm willing to entertain as many questions as are possible. So please feel free to, speak up and, share your thoughts with us. I will stop sharing my screen at this point so I can see everyone. Yes, guys, I'm open to questions. Yes, Victor, please go ahead.
Hi, Mr. Godwin. Yeah, can you hear me?
Clearly, I can hear you. Yes.
Okay, so I've got 2 questions. The first one is, I've been in IT now for close to 20 years, right? From data administration to being the head of technology to running a startup and then now a product manager. So in the years of experience that I need to put there, because I'm looking specifically for product management roles now. So would I be putting just product management experience there or my total number of years in technology?
Yes, please go ahead. Okay. I think that will be contextual. It depends on the story you are telling. And your About Me sections comes in very important. Depends on the story you told in your About Me section. If that story tied into, or you referenced what you've done in other areas, as well, yes, I could say, please do add your full length of experience. But if you made it, limited to a particular, span, then of course you would have to do accordingly. Okay, great.
So the second question has to do about the platform itself. So if you have a profile on SkilledUp already, is that profile different from the one you're going to develop for the volunteering role? because I have an existing profile on SkilledUp already. So am I going to develop another one for volunteering?
Okay. No, you don't have to do so. You simply need to go back, edit, and just make it better.
Great.
You simply need one profile. That's all. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Victor. Really appreciate you asking those questions. Yes, we're open to questions. Please feel free to ask. I see Sisanda, I see Chidera, I see Isaac, I see Ujunwa, I see Idris, Terry, Boogie, I see Joshua, I see Angel, I see Faith, I see Amma. Amma is a member of our team. I see Snowy, I see Delphine, I see Abraham, I see Kate. Feel free to join us, please. Ask a question, particularly, if you've got any.
Hello, Mr. Godwin.
Yes, Chidera, please go ahead.
Okay, Chidera again. Please, I have a question. Currently, I am transitioning into tech over a year now, for about a year and 6 months. So I think I've been learning and learning, getting some certifications. I am currently in the administrative part, so I am an administrative assistant or an executive assistant. I actually have basic knowledge of customer support. I took some customer support certification on Coursera and Allison. So as it is now, I would like to know the category I would fall in if I'm trying to build my profile on SkilledUp Life. And again,
Okay.
since I currently do not have any experience at all for now, do I need to actually put it out there that I am a fresher or whatever? I just need your guidance on this. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Two very clear questions and well received. The very first one talked about the category to select. Well, of course, I'm not very keen to creating a profile for that, but I'm sure there should be a category that isn't too far away from what you're doing. I think it's also very important that what you talked about, sorry, just mention the category again. And I think these are updates we could always do and add to our pool of categories as well. So if you could mention that, I'll note that down, and then we could work towards having those added too.
One is customer support or customer service representative. Then the second one is administrative assistance, executive or administrative assistance.
Okay. I'm not too sure, but I want to believe both should be there. But if they are not, of course, we'll work towards having them added.
Okay.
Okay. Yes. If they are not there already, we will work towards having them included because they are very important categories, to be honest.
Okay. Then the next question is I don't have any work experience yet. I just got all these certifications. I've not worked before.
That this is a platform dedicated to people who do not have experience or some who have experience and are willing to give back. The companies building teams also understand that volunteers coming here may not have experience. So you can be sure that they already know this. It's open fact. You know, they know that some will come who do not have experience. Now be as honest as possible, put it out there. But of course, this is where you tie your storytelling to the new value you're willing to, or the new skills you're willing to learn on that role, and how it could benefit that startup. Now, you do not have the core skills in that area, but you could have add-on skills. So these could tie in your storytelling. So for instance, even though you do not have skills in that area, an add-on skills will be something else you did elsewhere that could be beneficial on this role if given a chance. So you could tie your story and your communication in your About Me section in that way, and of course helps you, communicate and position yourself as best as possible.
Thank you, Mr. Godwin.
All right, thank you, Chidera. Really appreciate it. Hi, Sisanda. Sorry, I'm getting that wrong. Hi, Sisanda.
Hi, no, hi, it's not wrong. It is Sisanda.
Okay.
Yes. So on the categories part, I am a UX designer, UX and UI designer, but I didn't see the options for that, so I had to select web designer, which is a different thing, but it was close to. So when you said you guys could add other things over time, maybe you could add UX and UI design as well on the category.
Thank you. I just noted that down now. Yes, I did.
Okay. Thank you then. Bye.
Thank you, Sisanda. Oh, yes. We're open to more questions. Please feel free to, share your thoughts with us. We've got just a few more minutes to go. But of course, we are open to providing you insights as best as possible. Okay, so I think at this point we would have to go. But first, before we do, I would like to provide an overview of what we've done today and how it ties into you securing your spots on startup teams through SkilledUp Life. Now, of course, SkilledUp Life is a two-sided talent marketplace. What we're looking to do is pair individuals who understand that volunteering is a good way of getting experience. They wouldn't mind volunteering with a tech startup 1 to 3 hours in a day, Mondays through Fridays, over a period of 3 months. These individuals understand that experience is very essential, wouldn't mind volunteering even though there are no remuneration. Also understands that, yes, they would have to have an internet-enabled device, would also have their internet connectivity because if they find this exploration very important, they wouldn't mind, getting all of those done. Now, we're simply saying if you're that individual who understands this, how important this is, and has all of those, then SkilledUp Life is that platform you can come to and volunteer, to gain experience. On the flip side of this, we've got tech startups, early stage tech startups. They do not have, as much resource. Of course, you do know, guys, that raising finance, business finance, of course, funding for tech startups these days, there has been a dip. It's not just in Africa, it's everywhere in the world. The UK, the US, there's been a funding dip. Now, the reality is startups aren't buoyant as much as before. Many startups are bootstrapping these days. So they do not have as much resource to build paid teams. And in that light, they wouldn't mind volunteering with a tech startup to gain experience. They wouldn't mind bringing volunteers aboard their teams, to help them grow. So it readily becomes a win-win. You as that individual, you're going to that tech startup, you'll be undertaking tasks, going through, the processes. In that light, you're learning a lot, you're becoming better, you're building a portfolio, you're networking with colleagues, you're becoming better skills-wise, and so on. And on the flip side, that tech startup, while you go through all of that, helping it out, it's also growing. So it readily becomes a win-win scenario. So this is what SkilledUp Life is doing. Now, I also said earlier on that this is what SkilledUp Life is, and I also went ahead to mention what SkilledUp Life is not. We do not provide jobs. So do not see an engagement through SkilledUp Life as a route to a job. We want you to see SkilledUp Life as that platform where you'll simply come to gain experience. There are many, many platforms, 1,001 platforms out there where you could go apply to jobs, full-time jobs where you will be paid. But look around, Do you have any platforms maybe where you could go volunteer for experience alone? Those kinds of platforms are not available. But SkilledUp Life exists, and this is what it does. So we're simply saying, see SkilledUp Life as that avenue where you can come make, your career blossom. So this is what we are. And to achieve that, you will need a volunteer profile. It is your volunteer profile that makes all of this possible. Now, you would also agree with me that when you go on job boards and you spot opportunities and you initiate an application, in most cases, you would have to apply to each opportunity, fill out lengthy forms and so on. But at SkilledUp Life, that is not the case. You will simply build your profile just at a go or at one point in time. Once that is done, except for updates, you can then go back and apply to opportunities as the case may be. Now, what happens in this case is if you open an opportunity page, you will discover a simple button at the bottom or somewhere by the right that says apply. On clicking on that opportunity, on that apply button, your application is sent. Essentially, your profile is sent. Now, what that means is that your profile is a key to anything you would, do at SkilledUp Life. Very essential. And this is why you should have your profile tailored, because the moment you click on that button, your profile is sent to the company that has listed that opportunity. So what we've done is have a system where you only do this once, except for updates that you could go, you are improving and you're looking to add more to your profile. Of course, that's possible. So once that is done, you're in, and of course, you can explore as best as possible. So yes, this is what SkilledUp Life is about, what we've been working on and what we want you to be a part of. The very first step, like we always say, is visiting our website and creating a volunteer account. It will do us much good if everyone here can create their account. And if you have already, great, thumbs up. But if you haven't, please take that step and start that process today. Once that is done, you can then be on the journey to exploring SkilledUp Life. I also concede that after now, you will have questions. You will certainly have questions. Now, the best way to get support as you go on is by visiting the SkilledUp Life website. Now, at the bottom right corner of your screen, you will see a chat widget. That chat widget has got real human representatives behind it. That isn't a bot. Now, these individuals are there. They're also volunteers, volunteering to understand how customer support is done. They will provide you the best of support. I can assure you that. Now, the reality is that you will have questions. You will simply need to visit, the website, chat with a representative, and you will get some, of course, clarity. So this is what this event has been about, providing you insight on what to do to get on that opportunity page and also to apply and, of course, to be brought aboard a startup team. I'm certainly still open, even though we are just about the end. I'm open to providing feedback or answers to your questions, if you've got any, even at this point. Do we have any? Okay, I think we will have to go now. I want to thank each and every one of you for being here today. It's been a pleasure interacting with you, for listening in, having you here, asking questions and all of that. It's been a wonderful, wonderful ride. I can assure you I love doing these things, interacting with people and, having this engagement. So this is a fun thing for me. And I thank you all for being here, of course, making it even more fun. I want to thank Ajeng. Ajeng is our head of events. She has been at the helm of, making this event possible. Ajeng, thumbs up to you. Unfortunately, you couldn't speak today because of your microphone at some point. But we've also got some members of our team. We've got Amma here. Amma is our LinkedIn administrator. She handles our LinkedIn page. She's from Nigeria and she's an excellent hand. We've also got Abena. Abena is from Ghana. She's our head of case study and proficient copywriter. Thank you for being here. I hope I'm not leaving anyone else out. Joshua Deno is a member of our team. He is also from Ghana. Thank you for being here today, Joshua. And indeed, everyone else. I see you all. But very importantly, we also have Manoj. He's listening in and was also engaging with everyone here via chat. He's the CEO of SkilledUp Life and the brain behind all of what SkilledUp Life has become for people globally. So I want to thank each and every one of you for being here. Thank you, Thumbs Up Manoj, for being here too. And indeed, everyone. I wish you all a wonderful, wonderful rest of today. Have an exciting one. And if you've got any questions after now, please feel free to have a chat with our support team. And I assure you, you will get the best of support. Thank you all. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. Bye.